What's up guys, welcome back to Premium PCs. As you can see, I've been doing a little bit of decorating in the place and, well, it's still in a bit of a mess. But hopefully should have that finished soon. Got to get some more storage installed on the opposite wall. But yeah, I wanted to get a video uploaded for the start of this year, so we're just going to roll with it. So now it is officially the year 2020, which means it's been 5 years since Marty McFly got back from the future, or back to the future I guess, and we still haven't got a decent hoverboard.
Great Scott!
Which kind of sucks. But what we're going to do about it, huh? Well, although we haven't got a hoverboard, we have had a fair few advancements over the last 10 years. In some cases, not so much in others. So, 10 years ago, we started off with Intel's Core lineup, which is still with us now. It's been going for the last 10 years, and it's safe to say, unfortunately for Intel, it's pretty much reached its pinnacle. They should have been doing a lot more work a lot sooner to try and keep ahead of the curve. Because 3 years ago, in 2017, AMD really shook it up with their new Zen architecture, which by the end of 2019 was making Intel look pretty stupid. And it kind of showed up just how much they'd been ripping us off for so many years by not giving us more cores on a desktop platform. Because as soon as AMD launched an 8-core, all of a sudden what they said was only possible on high-end desktops suddenly became available on the consumer desktop platform. And well, we've got a few things coming up next year with the 10th gen Intel, but it's pretty much the same thing that they've been giving us for the last 5 years. There's no major advancements coming, while Zen 2 is obviously going from strength to strength. The Ryzen 4000 series leaks are looking incredibly good. And yeah, Intel have gone from being the mainstay for the consumer desktop and are now going to be looking at being the value proposition, which is a complete turnaround. Quite funny that it happened right at the end of 2019. We can get 16 cores from AMD, and we are just about rumoured to get 10 cores from Intel on a single monolithic chip. Let's face it, it's probably not going to be all that great. The leaked specs aren't looking fantastic. And once again, we're going to have to buy a new motherboard if we want to upgrade. They're actually weirdly putting it on two separate motherboards this time for their 10th gen lineup. So there's going to be your basic one for the lower end chips and a completely different board for the higher end chips. Which means if you've got a Z390 board, guess what? You're going to have to get rid of it and upgrade it if you want a new chip from Intel. Whereas if you're with AMD, obviously, you can still get brand new chips put onto an old B350 or 370. So yeah, they're looking pretty good. What else has happened in the last couple of years? Well, graphics cards have come a fairly long way. We've had the GTX lineup for quite a while from NVIDIA. AMD have been not terrible, but lacking behind a fair bit up until probably last year. Their RX series, as many people would like to say, like the Vega 56 and the Vega 64 were good. It's not that they were bad, but they just weren't as good as NVIDIA. It's clear to see. The 5700 XT and the 5700 and the new Navi architecture is the first thing that's starting to look okay from AMD. There's a little bit of competition back in the graphics card field where there hasn't been any for years. But NVIDIA have still got that little bit of an advantage with their ray tracing. So, as we leave one decade and go into the next one, what do we think that we can expect going forwards? For me, I think there is definitely going to be continued switch around for the next couple of years. I can't see Intel making a comeback probably until they get their own 7nm architecture going, which by the way they've skipped past the 10nm and they're going straight for 7, as they've been failing to deliver it for so long. They're now going to follow in AMD's footsteps and go on to the 7nm architecture instead. So yeah, I think we're going to see a fair few leaps forward on the Ryzen lineup. I'd like to put some money on saying that by 2022 we're going to have a complete switch around. A lot more people are going to be buying Ryzen stuff as they know that it's a better proposition, and we're probably going to see them starting to take a lead in frames per second for gaming at the higher end, which Intel is just barely holding on to at the moment, and I do mean barely. There really isn't all that much in it, but there is still a clear lead in Intel's favour. I can't see that lasting too much longer. Graphics card architecture. Well, there are rumours that Nvidia are going to go on to an AMD styled chiplet design for their upcoming GPUs. Can't say exactly when that's going to land, but definitely within the next few years. So that's effectively going to give us multi-core GPUs on a single card. So it's going to be effectively a replacement for SLI, which hasn't really been all that well supported by modern games for a little while now. It hasn't scaled all that well. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be the next big leap forwards in gaming architecture. And obviously ray tracing, which just started off the end of 2018. Yeah, we're going to get a lot more hardware ray tracing. It's moving on to consoles, so there are going to be some major leaps forwards coming in that department. I'm not sure when they're going to plan on launching the 3000 series from Nvidia. So like a 3080 or a 3070. Yeah, I don't know how much more gaming performance we're going to get, but I would say that the ray tracing performance is going to improve. At the moment, it's a massive cut on your gaming performance if you turn RTX on. Even with all the tweaks that they've done from launch, you would go from over 200 frames per second down to below 60, even on a 2080 Ti. They've made some improvements with it, but that's effectively by cutting back what the ray tracing is doing, not actually by any major optimizations. So yeah, well, I think that's going to be one of the big things to come up next. Yeah, that's going to make its way onto consoles. AMD clearly need to catch up, although it does seem like they have got something in mind, because obviously AMD are powering both the Xbox and the new PS5, which have got integrated ray tracing at 4K 60 frames per second. So AMD have clearly got something up their sleeve. We'll have to wait and see how that works out onto PCs. And as for this channel, well, first of all, I'm going to finish doing the decorating, but I've got a few things lined up for you, including this. Yes, that's right. Underneath all this pile, there is good old cheese grater Mac Pro, which we're going to be having a look at very soon, probably on the next video. Yeah, I'll save that one so you keep all the surprises for the next video on that one. Do check that out. We're likely going to be doing a little bit of a Linus Tech Tips and ripping the guts out of that and making something a little bit more impressive than the old thing, but in that case. So yeah, Hackintosh coming on Premium PC's channel. Obviously it's going to be completely customed, but yeah, hold on for the next video for that one. And there's a few other things that we're going to be doing. I've got a few ideas involving an air conditioner. Keep your eye out for that video. No idea if it's going to work, but we'll find out together. And yeah, that'll wrap it up for now. This is a nice short one. Just wanted to get something out there for the new year. So hopefully you've all had a good break before you get yourselves back to work. Make the best of your 2020, and I'll keep you posted with new videos very soon. So until next time, see you later.